All righty, good people. Welcome to the weekly meeting, 517. Today we're going to get a little lesson in Go from Gigi and then Mr. Andrew once he pops on here. Um, I know you have to leave early, Gigi, so I'll get out the way and let you do your thing until Drew gets here.
Okay. Yes. So I'm gonna get on here. Um, Let me figure out how to share my thing though, because that's always a mystery. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Okay, so just share and that's it. Let's just share it. Okay, can y'all see it?
It's coming up. You see it now, Gigi.
Okay, you see it now?
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna basically say, I'm gonna basically do what I do every day. So we know that. So we know that gold ended the 3 week, the 2 week, and the 1 week last week. So we really are just going to be looking on the 1 week because that's every week. We get a new candle. So on my chart, this is pretty clean for me. Price gave us the evening star, which are, now I'm real big on reading the candles. So if the names throw you off, I'll try to explain them. But basically, this is an evening star. These three candles right here, which signals bearish. And then we had the pullback last week. Now this week, the move finally started to me. So I'm gonna be looking for maybe a mini pullback next week because gold has not been fully pulling back. So I already got it marked up. I did the candle, just this week's candle. And that's where this weekly 78 is at. Let me make it a little.
And you just put the fib on that camera?
Yeah. Well, you want me to put it on there? I already marked it.
No, I'm asking you, is that what you did?
Yeah, I put the fib on this weekly candle right here that we just closed. And then we go down to the daily. Now you can see on the daily price already, it didn't break this low from what is that? What was that? Have been Thursday. So we kind of got like a hammer kind of. But then you go down to the 12 hour. Now we have a imbalance just above. I already marked it the 4 hour. And then this one, I think, yeah, this was a 12 hour. So this is the 12-hour little imbalance right there. And this is the 4 hour imbalance. Close. Both above and under the 78. So we probably know price will probably go up there and get that before it starts to sell again. Because look, we already made some higher lows right here on Friday. So beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday. I think we have news on Thursday. But it'll probably, buy. Now we do have a little imbalance up here. So I didn't want to mention that. So on the weekly, if you were to fib the high or low of the weekly, the 78 will probably be right where that imbalance is at. Now, this 78 I still have marked. That was from when we originally wanted to sell. So, I mean, I could get rid of that, but I still have that marked up there. really doesn't mean anything now. So we really don't have the 12-hour, we don't have an imbalance really on here. This was on the 4-hour. So if I were to fib the weekly, that's 78 from the high to the low, we'll probably be somewhere up there. So I'm going into the week thinking, all right, we're gonna get this imbalance right here. Price may or may not go up here and get this. Like I said, gold been, not really pulling all the way back. So my thinking is it probably won't go all the way up there to get that right now. We probably might be good like right here before it starts selling. But of course, we'll see. We'll see what price wants to do. It'll signal us either it's gonna keep buying or it's gonna sell. Basically, I usually just start off just like that. Daily, when I analyze, we just do the daily. And that's why a lot of people ask me, why do I have the daily high, the daily low mark? Really, I'll just have that mark just for me. Like I know if I'm expecting something, it's gonna go up and break the high, a sell, and then it's gonna come down. So my alert's gonna alert me. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's what's going on. So I would just really have it marked just because. But that's really gold. I mean, I don't try to do too much with it. You know what I mean? We already got the double top, just strictly reading the candles. So we will see when we get to this weekly 78 right here, what it wants to do. I may or may not take this buy. I don't think I am. I think I'm okay. I'm pretty patient, but I think that's my analysis of what it's going to do for next week. I've been waiting on this sell for a while. Gold has been buying crazy. So I've been waiting for it to like come down, ready to start selling. So that's really what I think for this upcoming week. Really don't have that much news, so I don't know. Just gonna have to play it by ear.
So when you say you've been waiting for a while, how long would you say?
Let's go back because really you could look at the candles. Like, I mean, look, I was marking imbalances all the way down here. Price did nothing. Like, what is this? That looks crazy. That's a 2022. Okay, so really, I'm not talking about that far, but that's how far it's been going. But really, let's break it down to like a week because it's been like consecutive weeks. I'll probably say the end of last year, honestly. So like, yeah, around here. And once I see that it's not doing that, just keep playing it by ear. You keep just reading the candles. But yeah, this gold has been doing this. Now, what I'm thinking, because we got the 3-week. Now, of course, we're not looking at this candle that we're in, but we have a doji right here. We need to come all the way at least. We got imbalances right here. Got another one right here. So I'm gonna say right here and just that's it. And we'll wait to see. Because it's always a wait and see game. But yeah, this gotta come down. And if we end this 3-week candle like this, then I think we in good shape.
Cherry's like 2,500 quarters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I also like the 2-month chart. To me is what I looked at for this pullback.
Yeah, I'll be going down to like the 6. Well, obviously, but yeah, when the months break, I'll be on it looking. So yeah, you said the 2-month though. Let me see.
You just type 2M. Well, oh, you can't do it right there. Yeah, add interval 2M.
Oh, there it go down there. Oh, that's the 2-day.
Just add interval 2M.
Did it do it? Okay, there we go. Yeah.
So that's the what I was catching the pullback off of.
Yeah.
And I got that same area marked up, that order block down there that you do. I don't know that we'll go way down there.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. That's what I'm saying. You and would go, So we just go see. But yeah, it's that if it wanted to, it could. So we just gonna have to wait and see. But this is, I mean, them. What was it? Those 3 weeks. I mean, and just kept buying and no pulling back at all. I'm like, okay, this is getting crazy. So it's gotta come down at some point, at least to this too much.
What are you thinking for this week?
Hi, Andrew.
Well, Andrew, whoa.
So I kind of said it really. So gold should probably just let me go to my 4 hour. Gold should just buy to what I have marked here. So my thinking is it'll come and fill this. I don't think it'll come all the way up here. But I'm thinking it'll fill this because this is the weekly candle 78 and it'll come back down. And I think when I have fibbed it, it lined up with the negative 27. But yeah, so for this week, that's what I'm thinking. We don't have news. Well, FX books always comes out of nowhere with news, but according to Forex Factory, we don't have news until like Thursday. So that's kind of usually does something like Wednesday. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. But for the beginning of the week, I'm thinking it should buy. It already started making higher lows right here. So that's my thought.
So anyway, I had surgery. That's why I haven't been like really active on my in chat, but of course I still trade, once in a while, yeah. And gold, right? You see the area that you get marked out. Where is this?
Right here in this 12-hour one, I think.
Hold on. Why can I not see anything to? Oh, because you are using phone or something.
I'm on my iPad.
Okay, so we cannot annotate on it. Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
you can show yours if you want to, but which one?
But
Which
are
one
you
do I have
done?
marked?
Yeah.
Well, I had one question, Gigi. Do you still use your indicator? I noticed that it's no longer on your charts, or do you no longer use it?
Which indicator?
The one that had the dots?
Yeah, kind of like the more that I grow, I kind of don't need it. You know what I mean?
okay.
Because I have like most of my confluences. So it's kind of like an extra confluence, I guess you would say. So not really as much.
Oh, okay.
All right. I can share my screen anyway if you want.
Okay. Yeah, if you could better do it. Let me see. I got your mom. Okay, did it stop?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
All right. So this is just like regular gold chart, right? And this is on my analysis on this. Like this is the one I do trade, right? So you can see like there's the full analysis here, which means I want gold to come to this area. But I don't know which time frame you were on, right? Here.
Yeah, because you do it lower, it looks like. I'm on like the 4, the 12, the 1 day.
Correct. So this area, right, is where I want gold to come to, even if it wants to continue, which is the same area that you get marked out, But at the same time, we can all circle back to see, because gold, it moves, right? And it's kind of moving different from other pairs, So I do like day trade with GA especially. It's like one of my most traded pair. GU, yeah, GJ once in a while, but yeah. But gold, since in the monthly time frame, gold has been so bullish, right? So we keep expecting gold to pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. It doesn't do that. So what I noticed on gold was, okay, since it doesn't pull back in the monthly time frame like the way we expect, it just keep going higher.
Right.
Because you have to, adjust.
Exactly.
So before we talk about the current price action, like the analysis, so we first of all going to, I'm going to show you guys something regarding gold. And we can just, it doesn't really matter anyway. We can just clear delete. Let's just say from here anyways. So on normal day, if I'm looking at this price action, right? We would like to say, oh yeah, probably go to come to, because I don't use rectangle anyway, I just use lines, you know. So I would be like, oh yeah, maybe gold should return back to, for example, here. I'm just marking my point of interest. You understand? So those are my point of interest. Yeah, go to come back to place like this. And of course, this overlay high right here. So regarding this whole price action that you just saw right here, gold has done one thing, pull back to this area right here with this candle, right? We mitigate this area. And that means this area is invalid right now. Gold will just keep pushing higher. And there is a way you can get an entry. We're going to talk about that as well. So like the next phase for gold to come back to is right here. You'll be wondering, why do I choose this candlestick to be my point of interest? So basically,
that's the close.
This is a bullish candle as well, but this candle is kind of a balanced candle. So whenever I see candles like this, I choose the point of interest within the top of this candle or the bullish candle before this balanced area. So because this balanced area is form of accumulations like phase, right? Let me see. This candle right here is form of accumulation phase. So which means the point of interest is right here. There is like a lot of orders still sitting around this area, which I want price to come to. So that is the reason why I'm marking out this point of interest like this. So regarding this point of interest, right? Like you can circle like to your line chart or something. You can see this is like the last pull back before price above this high. So which means if price pull back to this area, you can go to, it doesn't really matter whether the daily time frame. Let me take this one out first. This one. 6 hour or something, right? It doesn't really matter. But how do I trade this kind of candles? Once price pull back to this kind of area, right? So I look for the last down candle, in this case, like this right here. This one right here. This is basically the thickest and the last down candle, right? So I just want price, for example, in the lower time frame, 4 hour or something, to pull back to this kind of candle and price to continue going higher. But in this case, it didn't do. So I'm going to set back to the weekly time frame and pull this point of interest right here that I want price to come back to. This is like a replay mode, right? And we're going to talk about the current analysis once you guys see what I'm trying to explain right here.
But go to my only thing is the weekly gave us like a change of character already. So
right here, you mean?
You gotta come out of the last candle.
This one right here
on Friday.
Oh yeah. I'm going to talk about the current, because this is like old price action. I'm just playing out for you guys, you know. Correct. So right here, you can see price didn't return to this area, but what did price do? Price pull back to this fair value gap now, which means this area now is invalid because you are trying to catch gold trade, right? So as well, I can also see there is a point of interest right here. So now let's watch. We have a high and we have this area. So we are trying to catch trade to the upside. Just watch what I'm doing. I just marked out my point of interest. I wait for price to get there. Because in the monthly time frame, you can see gold is just going higher. So which means the only price action you have is from the weekly. We have a what? A fair value gap and this point of interest, because this is like a balanced market for me, which is consolidation. So if I go back to the 12 hours, 6 hours around this area, this is the point of interest I marked out, the fair value gap as well. So what I'm waiting for is for price to what? Break above this high, like I always say, the last that candle that push back to my point of interest. And if this line right here, I should change the color. This black line right there. Look at where I marked it out from so that you guys will not be confused. This candle itself, there is a fair value gap, and we also have this candle before this kind of inverted pin bar, right? Which is form of a balanced market for me, because price did not close above this high with this candle. Even if we traded above it, yes, fine, it did make a higher high, right? But I'm also watching the body of the candlestick. If we close above the wick, I know we close above the body. So I'm choosing my point of interest like this as well. So now price has returned back to where? The fair value gap and this black line. So if I go down to the 6 days or 12 hours, it doesn't really matter because I'm trying to catch an entry. So I don't need to go to the daily or something like this. I'm looking at this last down candle, right? For price to break and close above it with body. So with this, a retracement back to that candle will be my entry. You can circle back, lower your time frame, however, but I like to do the 4 hour and like 6 hour down to 1 hour and 15 minutes. So you can see right here, after the price has broke above this candle in the 4 hour, you can see a rejection. And what I always speak about, once I see an inside bar, it just tells me a lot of things, right? This is an accumulation phase. So inside bar, after an inside bar, we need a distribution, whether to the downside or the upside, it doesn't matter. In this case, we are looking for price, a higher prices, right? So this is an inside bar. And again, I just want price to come back to this area. With the rejection, it's already telling me that price wants to move higher. This is the 4 hour time frame. This is my entry time frame. 1 hour, 4 hour. I can do an entry from the 6 hours as well, but it depends on like where I'm going to put my stop loss. That's what matters. So now I can see price rejected this area and also created an inside bar. Basically, this is a liquidity for this price to run before price will start going higher. Right there. So if I cycle down to the lower time frame, which is like the 1 hour or something, you can see after price has run this liquidity, because this is my point of interest for my entry. I can enter this trade, maybe a stop loss below this area or something, but you can also wait as well in session. Session is on right here. Let me see. Okay, just put 100. Okay, right here. In this case, what do you see? We have Asia session rated, where your point of interest right here, after the 6 hour or what, or the 4 hour has created an inside bar in your point of interest. Where is it? Right here. The low was rated, which was the Asian session low. This is just your point of interest to get in this trade, right? Because first, the higher time frame point of interest, the weekly level is right here, and the weekly fair value gap. So I'm just looking for price to disrespect the last down candle from my weekly point of interest, although in my lower time frame, because you cannot trade like this is just 6 hour, 4 hour. So after price has disrespected this area, I want price to pull back to this area again so that I can enter off this area, right? So you can also wait conservatively to watch for like confirmation, which is right here, the 1 hour. What did you see? A low, the inside bar, right? This is the low of the inside bar, and it's also Asia session low. After it was raided, you can see an engulfing candle right here. You can enter like this. And with this is very like, conservative. You don't have to do like aggressive entry, like the first one you have to enter and put your stop loss right here. But with this, you can just go off with this. And where is your target? Remember, we have this high. This is the high before that pullback, right? So that high is your target. And again, some people who, like, of course, I do mentor, they understand what I'm also doing right here, which is I want price to move from here to this high, right? And in case you want to scale in a trade like this, you see this level right here, it's another block, right? You can see how this candle break down into this area, but this is another block. Some people will think that this other block is not valid. It's really valid. What price will do, after price has traded above this high, price will return back like this to continue going higher. For you to know if this area is going to be valid, like for example, for price to continue pushing down, you need to see candlestick rejection of this level. That is when you know, okay, this price is not ready to go higher. Rather, it will start falling down more. But in this case, price broke above it. After the wick have closed, let's just place this price right there. You can see how price pull back into this area again for price to continue to this upside. Remember, your lower time frame entry is still safe. Oh my God, what is going on with my mouse? Right here. Because your first entry in this time was here, right? So you are still safe. This is just a scaling. If you miss this entry, you can come back, circle back to this area after the wick have closed and take your entry, same target. Then probably the week is done, right? You come back the next week. What do you see right here again? This is just the high that we targeted from that area. So what you can see is another fair value gap being created right there. It's, first of all, is the first point of interest before your other block, because we have another block right here, but there is a fair value gap before the other block. So what are you waiting for? You are just waiting for price to retrace back to either this or the other block, right? So you can just go back to your lower time frame. It doesn't really matter. Or I can also identify the, where is my mouse misbehaving? I'm just showing you guys right now so that we can all look at the current price action together. So we can mark out this area, other block, and the fair value gap. And you can just go down to your lower time frame and wait for price to trade into any of these. Oh my God. Now, price, did price trade into that area yet? No. Price did not trade into that area, right? So we still have it on. Correct. There. Price has traded into this area. Again, look at this price action. This candlestick, right? Where is it? It's the very first candlestick that tapped into my area, right there. This is the very first candlestick that tapped into my point of interest. And price has now disrespected this up candle, because right here, I can use this, I can use any of these, right? But this is the highest price from the downside, right? So price has disrespected this candle, and you can see how price also traded back into this candle and continue. Remember, the high is what you will always target. You can go down to what? The lower time frame, like this. This area, if I go maybe probably the 1 hour or something, you can see how price rejected this area multiple times. After price has disrespected this up candle.
So you expecting it to just buy?
If I expect it to just buy,
Yeah,
of course, this is the price. Yeah.
but it's selling.
How is it selling? It just went up from where? From that price. Right here again, the 6 hours. Right here.
Wait, are you
And you
still in
targeted the
replay
high.
mode? What is this? I'm talking about current price, I guess, and
So
because it looks
we're
like
going to
you're
talk
in
about the current
April.
price. That's why I'm like showing you guys how I look at gold, right? So we are going to talk about the current price. And let's just finish with the current price right now. So now let's go back to the weekly. From the weekly time frame, what can we see? This is the current price on gold, right? Right here. Oh my
We
God.
can see a change character.
Correct. First, I'm going to identify this word, fair value gap. One, again, my open and close level, like I do use them right here. This is from the monthly open and close level. So we have this open and close level from the monthly time frame. This is so what is so interesting about this gold current price action. So we have open and close level from the monthly time frame, and on the weekly time frame, what do we have? We have the fair value gap right here. So price just tap into both points of interest for the first time, like last week, right? And looking at this price action, you said price change character, right? I agree with you. So this is the low when price change character. This is a change of character on this price action. Why? Because price was making higher high, higher low, higher high. Basically, this is the high, right? It created a higher low, then it created a lower highs, a lower low. That was the change of character. Now, what did price do? Price pull back.
It
What?
broke that high, then
Created.
came down and broke the low and closed low and closed lower.
This is
All
This
I
is
see is bearish. That's what I
correct.
see.
Correct. This is very, very. That's what I said is so interesting right now. This is very, very clear, right? Because when price moved down, our objective is to target this low because this was where the price pulled back from, right? We targeted the low and price now pulled back to a bullish point of interest, right? And price still remain what? Bearish by what? Breaking the low. And now what do we see? That is why I told you I marked the same point of interest. So now, what can we see on this price action? Remember, whenever price pull back to my point of interest, I'm always looking at what? Probably the 6 hours and what? The 4 hour for my entry. Now you can see this is the last down candle in my point of interest. Right here. What did price do? Price broke above it, price pull back. And in the 4 hour, you can see a double rejection there. This is the entry, right? Now, back to the weekly time frame. You are saying this market is bearish, which we all agree that is bearish. This point of interest right here is very valid. I'm just waiting for this point of interest to be disrespected. Then I can scale in on this gold. I still have a high right here, which I expect price to respect within this area. Let's say, well, hold on. Let's say the 50% of this week right there. You can use your fib level right here, 7,578, and you can just mark out the 50% of this week right here. So this is where I'm expecting gold price to pull back, like to trade into before, like probably selling back down, because this is just the high. And now I also marked out this area. Why did I mark out this area? I always say this is a bearish order block, right? It is very valid, but for this price to continue from here going down, I need to see rejection, or else I want to see price broke above it, like just above that line, and come back and keep trading higher.
And then that's where it'll turn around at. I think that's where my 12-hour imbalance was at. Yeah.
So this is what I'm looking at.
But
You can
it's
see,
still gonna.
you can see the current price right now after mitigating this area right here. So we haven't broke and closed above this. So once this week price open and trade higher and break above this line, I want to see a pullback like this. Continuation to where? You can see, first of all, we have the 50% right here, and we have what? 705.78 price right here. And the 4 hour, how does it look? And this is how it looks from the 4 hour. So I'm not going to say maybe I will choose the 50% for price to pull back to why, because of this previous order block right here. That price, consolidate a little bit, then like disrespected. Of course, the 50% is very valid. And from here, if I don't see any confirmation, which means gold price might be seeking another all-time high. I mean, it's not far away from there, so why not? But this current week, I'm looking for price to keep going higher. And for me to scale this trade, I need to see price break above this line right here and pull back to continue going higher. And also want to see, once price pull back, I don't just enter off. Once price pull back, I need to see a rejection of candlestick, and the last down candle that pull back into that area, from the 6 hour, right? I need to see price disrespect that candle, just like this.
So our analysis is a bit the same for the buy, but I think once it get up there, it's gonna turn around though. When they get up to that,
This is
that
enough
blue
peak,
line.
For me, I don't mind. And right here,
But we gotta
whether
wait to
here
see.
or here, I want to see price rejection of this area, right? If I don't see any price rejection,
right, then we going higher. Yeah,
for sure.
If we don't see
are
nothing,
going for all-time high.
And that wouldn't be like gold. So
for some people who are looking to trade gold this week, just wait for price to probably disrespect this high and pull back. I mean, with confirmation, whatever confirmation you have. But here, because this is a previous week order block, and we need to see price reject. If the price doesn't reject this area and break above it, pull back, wait for the last down candle to be disrespected. It doesn't matter whether the 4 hours, 6 hours or something. Then just mark out that line and draw that candle out and wait for a
Mike said,
pullback
what's
as well,
the
just for confirmation. What?
Mike said, how many pips is that?
From here?
Where? To that blue line that he has marked?
Right.
Either way, that's a lot of pips. Either way, it's some pips on the line.
Yeah, how many pips is that to the blue line, Andrew?
You mean the sell or what?
The buy.
What?
The buy.
To the blue line?
Yeah, you see from where you say
Are
we
you
need
asking
to
the
wait?
buy to the blue line? Like this?
Yeah. What's the pip count? Just wanted to find out. It's 138? Okay.
Right here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And oh my God, hold on. Right here, you can see, maybe if you don't want to take like aggressive entry right here, you can see when price pull back to this area as well, price also disrespected this last down candle right here. So this could just also be your entry if you don't want to take from here or something. So, and you can see the reason why price dipped down so much because of this imbalance right here. I was even thinking price will pull back to this area, but it didn't. And of course, once price disrespected this area, it's a go for me. So anybody have a question?
Yeah, and I'm still here. I'm just getting ready to go to my thing, but I'm gonna just go on mute. But I'm still here. But yeah, we're pretty much the same, Andrew. We'll wait to see when we get up there what price will do.
Yeah, for sure,
It's
for
not
sure.
unlike gold to just keep buying, honestly. So that's why you really gotta wait to see.
It's impossible, like just to keep buying. I don't know, it's possible, but at the same time, it's just impossible. Like I say, if I don't see any rejection of this area, right, then we might be looking at all-time high again, for sure. What is the 1 hour? It's the 1 hour.
Shouldn't we be looking further down?
And you can see what is called this 50% of that week that I did marked out. Looking at the 1 hour is the last basically up close candle before this area was disrespected, which means this 50% line is this blue line is very, very like, and again, is a previous order block from what some time frame here in the 4 hour. So it's very, very important. This
I have a
line, if I
question.
don't see any reaction in this line, then probably price is going higher.
I have a question, Andrew. For this blue line,
Yes,
can
ma'am.
you zoom back out? What did you fib to get this blue line?
What did I feel?
Yeah, where did you get that blue line?
Because price just keep creating lower lows, right? This is how price is right now. Low, lower low. Then we pull back, then we created the lower low. So this has to be a pullback into this area and continue going down, something like this. And this blue line is the 50% of the wick created right here of this green candle.
Oh, of the wick. Okay.
Yeah. And you can see
Okay.
this one as well, right here. If I measure
Hmm.
it's the same thing. I always want to see reaction of the 50%. When I see price is creating something like this and you're looking for like probably a point of interest to take trade from.
Hmm.
So
Okay, thank you.
this was from this one pullback, and I also want to see reaction from that. You can see after price pull back to that 50% of the first week, what did you see? The last up candle was disrespected. That becomes your point of interest. What do? You draw out that candle, you wait for price to pull back to that candle. And what did he do? He did the same and keep falling. Remember, we target the low where price started pulling back from. Boom. Target the low and relax.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anyways, Tao, do you want to share your screen? Is he still here? Where is Todd? Is not here or?
I guess the brother jetted, man. So just
Oh,
on to the next.
oh. So what are you guys want to look at?
He's here. He's here.
Okay.
Hey, y'all are funny, man.
Okay, you want to keep on with your screen?
No, you can share.
Bro, I'm having some crazy pain in my leg because I just did surgery last week on my knee. So
So you want me to share my screen?
yeah, you can, we just talk about gold, you can do some other things.
Yeah, no. It's slim pickings this way. This week. It's the third week. So
Let me see. What are you guys even thinking about GA and of course GU? Before I will share my screen, what is it? GU.
GU is gonna sell. It's but
Yeah, we can just
Jen week this week. Jen was good this week as well.
first of all GU, right?
yep.
All right. So GU, let's just see real quick. Let me put this one right here. So we have a high, a low on GU, and we have what? A pullback into where? Let's see. We run this liquidity. right there, we fail to create a higher high. So this is form of inside bar, which means distribution is next, right there. And what do we have right here? After this liquidity, which is the inside bar, was run. Let me go back to daily real quick. First of all, let's just start from this area. We look for a point of interest within that area, right? Because this is a high and this is a low. This is a shift in market structure right here, right there. Because of this candle, up, then we break this low. So this is a shift in market structure. However you want to take a look at it, but that is for sure a shift in market structure, and this is your point of interest. And price has traded into this area. It is the first time price, but this is what really matters right here. And you can see price rejected this area. Not really created so much, right? But for sure, looking at the 4 hour, because I'm more interested in the 4 hour, not 6 hour here is cool, right? This is where it gets tricky right here. When price pull back here, we created a lower low. And for what? This area right here, right there. So price has pulled back to this area in the 4 hour. And where is that area? Like this. So I expect price to keep falling. I don't know if somebody took GU say last week.
I did. I
Because
got it.
GU, I'm already in GU from where? From here. From this area. You can look my chart. You can see I'm not like just saying it, this is my real chart, the one I used to trade, right? You can see previous day high, also like inside bar. Like this area is from 12 hour, 50%. So we go to the 12 hour, the 50% of this candle right here is where the entry was. So I'm still holding GU, like I'm saying. So this is my real chart, but this is just the chart I'm doing analysis on right now. You can see. So being on GU since here. So I still expect at least for GU to target this low first. And GU is not just coming to this low. I think GU is falling at least to this area. Is the wiggling? We have this open and close area. And of course, the month here, right here, open and close of previous month is where I really think GU is coming to this area. It could respect this low, fine, but at least this would be my point of interest if GU wants to keep falling down. And how does that area look? This is the same area right here. This is just, at least for this week, I don't know if GU can pull back here or you can just keep falling down to this area. This is like my last bust off for GU to probably keep buying. And this is how it looks. And if you look at this area, it's like a previous, when we broke this structure to the downside, I mean, we have support around here, some point of interest where price pulled back up. So this is like a previous area, previous order block, the price have disrespected. So I think price is coming back like this to keep going higher. But for this week, this is the closest, open and close of the week. So if you can create equal low and pull back here, so we will now have probably another high, probably another low, which means this low will be the one that will support GU to pull back if it's going to pull back around this area and was probably for once more back here and before we can take a longer buy.
Quick question. I'm sorry. On gold, you use 50% of the wick for POI, but on GU, you use the entire candle. Can you explain the difference and when?
No. You are making a lot of sense, right? You are making a lot of sense. So if I should mark out this, look, if I should mark out this one right here, let me change the color. Let me put red. If I should mark out this area right here, right? I go back where? This is what is it? This is basically the weekly, but if I go back to the monthly, not actually like the 50%, right? But you can see it's close to the 50% of this week.
I mean, your current entry on GU, you said you use 50%.
Oh, my current entry on GU.
Yeah, so I was saying
What are you
when you
asking?
were doing when you were doing gold, right? You
Yeah.
said that 50% of the wick is where you see price buying to, right?
Correct.
And then
Yes.
when you did GU, you said 50% of the candle was your entry.
Okay, so
for this current
okay.
1 second. So for this current trade, so my question is, how do you decide when you're only measuring the wick and when you're measuring the full body of the candle?
Right. I understand, and it's simple, right? So let's go back to what? This is GU, right? Right here. Let me should I just delete these things again? Yeah. Right. So look at this. Is that the 50%?
Okay, yes.
Okay. And again, look at this candle right here. Where is the 50% of that candlestick? Right there.
Yes, same place.
So it's just the same, you know.
Mm.
You just have to like navigate, like you have to do it yourself, you know. So for me, it's the same, whether from the week or it's just, but of course, you also need to understand it, you know. It's not something like you are just going to your chart now, you start marking out every 50% of a candle or of candle wicks. It doesn't
No, of
work.
course. I was just trying, you got in the trade way before a lot of other people. So that's why I was trying to determine why that was your POI. That's all.
Well, Shay, I don't know that he got in before a lot of other people either.
Well, it looks like on his actual chart, on the other one, not this one, but on the other one, he got in at the top turning point of price.
Yeah,
So
the
that's the early entry.
same 2-day chart that I put up last Friday. You know, it's
Okay.
the same area.
Got
So
it.
I just think you have to have a process, and you got to stick to whatever that process is.
So price got here, right? The 50% of price, right here. And if you also marked out this candle, right, you can just also see the 50% of this price is just above this area right here, which means this is a liquidity. I don't know of which form it may be. It could be okay, like this candle right here. Once you see a candle like this, the high and lows are all liquidity, but you can see it's also equal highs on this time frame, you know. So which makes it's liquidity. And if you go down more, so this is still the 50%, and the 50% is aligning with this one right here. This last candle before a push, which caused a change of character, and that is how it looks. Yeah, of course, this is where I get in here. After what the sweep of this high, you can see previous something high. I don't know which section it may be. Plus current Asian highs equal, it becomes an equal high, and they are liquidity. So after the rate of that liquidity, then you can see GU falling from what? From the 50% of the other block, the last open and close of the last up candle before whatever down before the push down. It's just like multiple confluences, just align at the same point. So it just makes sense, you know.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. But yeah, this is for me, GU. I think it's going to keep falling at least to this low. And like I say, I want to see previous month open and close would be my point of interest, overall point of interest in this case, where I would like GU to fall to. GU can never fall back to this area. Now, why? Because this high has never been broken and closed above. So Once this high has been broken and closed above, this will not become a break of structure again of this level like we did right here. So we need to see a break of structure of this level. Then we can see probably a deeper pullback, deeper retracement back and continuation if he wants to continue or start breaking these lows down back to, whatever. But now for GU to keep pushing higher to break this high, I think it might get its support from this level. So we still have enough pips. If GU is going to fall here, you have at least 348 pips. If power shakes something, this can occur like within 1 or 2 days.
Hey, can you use the 2-month candle just so I can see something?
Yes, sir.
I'm asking for a frame.
Yeah. This is the 2 months. And you can see this level is almost the same as what the open and close of this 2-4 before the break of structure. So which, kind of also makes
it's that 50%, baby.
so which also kind of makes sense, So
For sure.
So you're talking about 50% of this candle.
Yeah, if you fib that candle, it's gonna give you the same area. And then you drop to the 4 hour, you see that same image. That's the same place that I have it.
So it's just like, kind of everything just, getting close. So this is the open and close of this level. And the area marked out from the previous month open and close right there. So they are just aligning. It's not too far away from each other right there. How many pips away? 13 pips. 70. It's not bad. And if you look at this area, it's just so this is just the area I'm looking for GU to pull back to. Like this and continue. But I mean, it's not, you think it's going to fall once? We still have like some road traffic right here, right there. We have some road traffic. But the most important thing, at least if we can catch GU here, it's 100 or something, and here almost 200 pips. So at least is enough.
That's it. It give you 100 pips, and then you can wait for the next one.
For a pullback or whatever to get it. Definitely it will surely give you another entry. Surely give you another entry. So and what about GA? Anybody even trading GA? So did you look at GA? Do you think GA is selling or buying?
I didn't look at it, as far as move. I looked at it to see if it gave me anything, but it's not doing anything for me.
So for me, right, GA point of interest is right here. Why? Because this is a run of this liquidity before it pushed down to break what lows right here. So this candle didn't really do much. I'm not going to consider it to be an inside bar, but form of an inside bar, but not completely. So right here, we did gap down, but not like to close below. So which is basically also creating what? A lower low for me. I will just use it as one low and now a pull back to this point, probably to continue going down. So now, what do I see here? This candle high was liquidity. This was previous week, right? We're into this area. So let's see if there is a clean shift in market structure yet for price to start falling, or I don't know. But yeah, we have the 12-hour, not really. 6 hours. What do we have? Right there. This candle was disrespected. basically, right there. So first rejection and second rejection. And in the 4 hour, how does it look? This is how it looks in the 4 hour. Plus price also.
I would call it displacement for the sell.
So price also traded back to this area. So after this liquidity rate, you can see right there, rejection, rejection. This is perfect. This is what we want to see. And after that, price broke below this area. And this is from the higher time frame anyway. It was 6 hours. So I marked out that area. If you want to mark out your 4 hour level, GA like the 4 hour level anyway. It's something that I know. So even if he wants to push more higher for more liquidity rate, yeah, we can rate this one into this area, maybe once more before continue going down. But yet, let's go down to the 1 hour. Let's see what we have right here in the 1 hour. Where is the last up? We're just going to use this one right here. This is the last one before price started pulling back down, which means for we to see a continuation sell, we probably need to see this one gets broken and continue like this. If not, price might just gap up this week, or somehow, even if you open the same and raise this level to this area and continue going down. Now you can see we have this area got broken. So I think GA as well is selling either from this level. If we are going to read these ones right here back to the upside, yes, we can take an entry from here. Like I said, GA likes the 4 hour level. It's a pair that I trade every time. So it like the 4 hour level. So this is the 4 hour level. And I expect maybe probably this high to be run into this level and continue selling. If not, then I'm just waiting for what? This candle right here to be broken, and then I see price pull back to that candle for continuation. Like this to the downside. To see if we can get more lows get rid. The high has been raided, so we have the sell side liquidity standing. And this is for this. Any question before Todd can share his screen? You guys can ask Todd anyway. Todd, you can share your screen, bro.
Hey, I ain't got nothing to share. But
maybe they want to look at other things. I don't know.
Well, this is what I think. I think going into this week, the order blocks are not very good looking. But if you know how to drop down the time frames and use the lower time frames in the weekly, the trades are still setting up. I like the USD to buy this week, just the same way you said. So I think the USD will get stronger. I'm still in the UCAD trading from last week. But you know, UCAD for the buy. GU and EU are selling. I think the same with AU and NU. But you know, I think that if you're in those trades, you should hold them until they hit your TP. I think
for sure. Like for GU, we are not closing trade GU, no.
Exactly, but I think a lot of people close their trades too fast, or
no,
just trust your analysis. Once you mark it up, and just let the trade play out.
So anybody wants to look at another pair? After all, I'm not trading another pair, so I cannot even look at any pair for you guys. So
You all just need to start trading gold.
yeah, gold is amazing, but at the same time, bro, it's something that you need to be patient about.
Yeah, and I think if you're growing your account,
Not with gold, bro. No way.
without gold.
Now, if you want to share your screen, at least you're here. You can share your screen.
I got nothing to share, bro. I just want to know what those red lines were. Why did you mark them in those specific spots? I know I came in late.
On what? On my pairs or gold?
Yeah. Anything.
It's just
Like,
my area where I'm looking to take a buy or sell from. Just my point. Yeah.
Yeah, but what? I mean, what are those criteria that you look for in
What
order
are the
to
criteria that I
consider
look
the
for?
zone like a point of interest? Yeah.
So what, like right here?
Let's go to current price.
This is the current
They're basically fair value gaps. That's what his points of interest are. 50% marks maybe on wicks. Liquidity grabs. From daily candles. Those are his points of interest. It just depends on which pair he's looking at, but essentially the points of interest are the same shit. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess he can walk through why he did whatever, but that's what you're gonna find, that all the POIs are fair value gaps, 50% marks on wicks, liquidity grabs off of daily candles, that kind of thing. Go ahead, Andrew.
So basically, right, Nawaf, you have the way you trade, I have the way I trade, right? So I don't know, like, point of interest could also be some, because I mean you trade like something like support or resistance. I don't know but it could also be some form of support or resistance. I don't just use this language, support or resistance. So first, I want to see my main thing is like, once price is consolidating, like creating an inside bar, because inside bar is form of consolidation, right? So those highs and lows are very important, right? So as soon as this highs and low get rated, then I can start looking for candlestick confirmation, as well as market structure shift. You understand?
I'm listening.
So now, first of all, let's just look at this one right here. We have these two candles. What these candles are doing? This is consolidation. I mean, this is the weekly. It doesn't really matter. So after you see price open here, we traded high, to rate the high, right? So breaking and closing below, this is even the lowest candle. This is just a shift in market structure, which means where does price came from? The point of interest is now here, because this is where price opened and it moved up. So basically, I'm looking at this price, this area, as my point of interest for price to return to, for me to take a shot, right? And this candle, of course, price always need liquidity in some form, right? This candle high, didn't really broke and close above this opening price of this candle, neither the high of this candle. So we traded like this, and now I have identified my point of interest as well, but I'm also going to show you right here, whether it's from the daily or it doesn't really matter. Now, what do you see? After the raid of this high, market have shift structure, right? Like I say, I also identified this area from the higher time frame. So which means here again, liquidity gets swept. What I want to see is evaluation of this candle, right? But of course, I can go down to the lower time frame to just see what, because this is just a confirmation entry for me, right? Which means I can go as low as 1 hour just to see a shift market structure from the 1 hour something. After market have traded back to my point of interest.
Okay.
I can literally see candlestick valuation. You can see this aggressive bearish candle, right? From where? From the 4 hour.
Okay.
As price traded back into this area. Not yet. Oh, hold on. Why is it slowing? Right. Not yet. And okay, come on, man. Because I'm on my bed, so the mouse is misbehaving. And you can also see a tick down candle before price started, kind of consolidated to the upside. And price has also broken this area, which means this area, I just want price to pull back here. I don't want to just jump in trade, right? So once price pull back here, I can take a shot on this trade, even if this is an aggressive entry that I've already taken, right? But I can also just take a shot for like a confirmation right here. Because according to the weekly,
See, go back to that low
if
time
price
frame.
have, okay, to where? Daily or what?
Okay. You see, this is what I'm not understanding with how you're marking up. Now that line
Yeah.
that you have there has been mitigated and violated already. So that's what I'm trying to understand. Why do you still keep it there? What is the purpose if price has already gone through it?
From where?
The red line that I marked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Usually,
Yeah.
the way I put my zones is if price
Mhm.
passes through or mitigates it, it's no longer a valid point of interest. You see what I'm saying?
So you are telling me that price can only mitigate whatever, whether support or resistance once.
No. If
Okay.
it breaks through, it's completely mitigated, meaning no longer valid.
Okay, now let's say you mean that price has broken through this line right here, through like this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So why do we have break and retest? This is the first time price is coming back to this area. That is why we are looking for shorting opportunity in this area.
Okay. You see,
This
for me,
area
what
is
makes
not
more
here,
sense.
is the future price we are looking at right now, right here. Because price has broken through it, so we need a retrace back to that area for continuation to the downside.
Okay. To
I
me,
think
the only
oh, go ahead.
Does it make sense?
it
I
makes
was
sense,
just gonna
but
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna
Go ahead.
say that where his red line is that it got retested, that's the area that caused the break of structure where his
Correct.
line is on the bottom. So price caused the break of structure and then it traded back into the
This
supply
is the
area,
first time price is trading back here.
back
Yes.
into there for an entry to go down. So that's an area that caused a break of structure, if that helps.
We don't mark
It makes
rectangle,
sense.
something like this,
You see,
like a support or resistance area like this. No, we don't do that. We just use line because we want to be accurate as much as possible. This is a big zone. I don't want price to just look at this zone right here. Price tapped into this area before, right?
but that is the zone I would have marked instead.
I understand, like this is a zone, right? So what I'm trying to tell you that I want to be accurate as much as possible as I can, right? You can see the first time if I draw out like a zone like this,
This
price has
zone and
mitigated this area
this
before.
one, the red line. This is what I would have looked at because price never broke above that.
Which one? Like
You see your red line where I'm pointing at with the arrow?
right here?
No.
Okay, this red line, like this one.
Yeah, I would have drawn from the wick to the body because price never broke above it with a
So
body.
you mean from here like this? Like this?
Yes.
So, okay, you are using like a rectangle. We're basically doing the same thing right here, right? But now look at where it gets interesting because we have already know the high of this thing is liquidity. It needs to be rated. That is how we are kind of different now. So I know this high is liquidity. It needs to be rated. That's just the difference. Why? Because I interpret this candlestick right here. I have a point of interest, right? Let me circle back here.
Andrew, just 1 second. Just go down to the 4-hour real quick from that area.
Okay. 4-hour right here.
There it is. You're bearish engulfing. That's yours. You see when it taps into that
we have a bearish engulfing. I want price to now pull back to this area for me to shut this market back down now, because this is like a confirmation for me that it is about to start dropping. That's what I was explaining to them. Yeah. Because we already have a bearish engulfing candle, so I want price to come back here and raid this high, like I told you, highs that are inducement prior to our point of interest. They are just liquidity. So now we have this kind of high, and as well, right now we have these highs that are inducement from liquidity that we need to raid and tap into our point of interest for a continuation. At least you can get these same lows. We have a lot of low one to, those are our liquidities. So, and you can stop here or you keep going down, because I also know like GA is coming towards somewhere around this level. So, but I'm not interested in this down. What I'm interested in is this same low right here. So once we aim for this low, this is a huge amount of pips. Delete. This is around, I don't know, I think I checked like 300. Okay. 2 something. It's not bad. So if you target the same low, then you just wait for price to do whatever it wants to do again and come back.
Yeah.
Like, we all pretty much trade the same way, just like the way you look at it, the way I look at it, the way someone is looking at it is maybe it's a bit different, but like I'm sure like standard, okay, like liquidity rate into your point of interest. How do you identify your point of interest? Maybe that is where the difference comes in, But like I say, I don't have to probably wait on this daily or something, but even in the weekly time frame, I can know because the candlesticks are saying something. Lower low, lower highs. That is basically what the candlesticks are creating, So that's all.
Makes sense now.
Yes, sir. Anyways, and third, you said you don't want to share your screen. Does anybody even have a question before I jet off?
Hey, we appreciate you and Gigi breaking it down today.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, man, sir.
Does everybody know what they're trading this week, huh? Like, if you don't have an idea of what you want to trade right now, you probably shouldn't trade. Because this is where you win right here. Like, you have to know what you're looking at for next week.
All right. I mean, we went through GA, gold, and GU, so either of these trades, they are okay. You just have to wait and see which direction the price is going and you follow, right? But we already know probably GU, we're already in this trade, so we don't even have to think about GU. We just have to see if price is going to keep falling, we're already in the trade. So if you want to join the race, then wait for whatever your confirmation is to join the race, And GA is pretty much fresh, and it will be very, very good opportunity, a good one for who doesn't even know what he's trading, because from the 4-hour, you can see there is a bearish engulfing right here. You can just set alert right here This is the 4 hour and wait for price to pull back here. Once price pull back, like I say, for me, everything is in check, right? So I can take aggressive entry like this. My 30 pip stop loss will remain my 30 pip stop loss. That is my risk, right? So, however, if you also have some form of confirmation, like going down to the 15 minutes time frame when price has traded back into this area, you can go down to the 15 minutes time frame, which is the mass. You can go and also look for a shift in market structure. And what I noticed, right? Whatever happened in the higher time frame happens whatever maybe in the middle time frame or the lower time frame. It's just the same. Once you see a liquidity raid of this area into the weekly points, and now we have a 4 hour, right? You can see a liquidity raid as well. It will do exactly the same thing that it does in the higher time frame. That is why it's actually an algorithm. Just the same thing. So once you read this one again, yeah. And if you are looking for the 15 minutes time, you can see that shift in structure, and you will see it's the same form of whatever structure it will form, right? To continue going down. So you will have like 3 time frame, aligning. Then yeah, you can take GA. I think is a very good one to watch out for this week. And if you can get 100 pips, right, just right here, you are good. If you can get almost 300, you are well okay. So why not? I was trading GA. All right. Yeah, good luck on the new week. And we see next week.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Does anybody got anything for the good of the group? Brad,
What about you, Jay?
you said what?
You, Jay.
Or you want to share your screen and tell us what you are looking at?
I'm cooking at the moment. I'm not.
You ain't cooking, girl.
I am. Unfortunately, otherwise I'll be on my laptop.
She's cooking some potatoes.
Tea and crumpets, anyone?
She's cooking her crumpets.
No, I don't think anyone eats crumpets anymore.
UJ. What do you think about UJ? You that asked the question.
Well, you covered gold, and that was what I was looking at this week.
Gold?
US 30s buying. UJ looked like a sell. From what I can remember when I looked at the chart. I've got gloves on, so I can't touch my phone that often.
It sold about 300 pips last week.
Yeah. But then I can't remember. Yeah. So I'm expecting a buy back up and then a sell again. I'm sure it had a bearish order block on one time frame. I can't remember what time frame. I don't know if it's a 2 week.
The 2 week candle ain't closed yet.
Maybe it's 3 week.
Let me
3
see.
week candle ain't closed yet. Only the 1 week.
It's a 2 month. It might have been one of them. It was on a higher time frame.
Well, yeah, it traded up to that 78 and it rejected. But you didn't get a weekly bearish order block. So if I'm looking at UJ to trade UJ to sell it long term, I'm waiting until I get a bearish order block. You might get that bearish order block next week. If you want to get a sniper entry, you might be able to get a sniper entry at some point this week. But I'm not interested in snipers. I just want to catch the move, especially if it's going to be an enduring move, But hey, everybody has to trade, the way they trade, UJ could buy this. It could buy up and double top,
So for me, if I'm looking at this chart, right? I, I, I don't know. I think UJ can still push up.
Exactly, and double top. That's the double top area that I'm talking about.
If
So, and that's
to this area.
probably a few hundred pips. How many pips is that, Andrew?
So this hold on, let me see. Man, this is like 400.
Exactly.
It could even push all the way here. Right there. Why? Because first of all, for two reasons why I said it could even push all the way there is one, this is a previous order block that got valuated, wasn't respected, and price haven't traded back into that area. Plus, we also have a fair value gap in that area as well. So, which means it could even pull back there because, like, GU is selling, so UJ could be buying as well. And now, what do we see that price is doing? We have this long bearish candle, right? So what is price doing? Let's just say lower low, lower highs, lower low, lower highs, lower low, lower highs, lower low. Now it's a pullback. And this pullback, we have seen that price, I mean, this is still what the monthly time frame, so we cannot really justify if it's an inside bar or not. But let's see the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame, and what is price doing now on the weekly time frame? High, low, high, low. You know, we can do a little bit of this. Doesn't matter. This is creating higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low. And first, in the weekly time frame, this is where the disrespected came from, right here. As soon as price has traded above this last down candle, so we see price pull back and rejected that area, right? Yes, we did tap in. And now let's see the daily time frame right there. Did we? Yes, we did tap in this area right here. And this was a rejection of that area from the weekly time frame. That, if you guys don't know what I'm doing, right here, this last down candle, and this was the area, right? So right here, after price has pulled back in 1, 2, basically this is the last down candle right here. I can just mark it out. The price values the high, the body, yes, and that is it. You push this back. This is where price tells you that price wants to keep going higher, you know, but this is a pullback into this area. However, then price broke above this structure. If I go back like this to this area and this, after price has pulled back, and this is like a point of interest that price also traded back into and went higher. And you see these two candles right here. It's not really, I'm not really a fan, but if we should go down to the lower time frame, which is the daily, not really lower, but still higher time frame, you can see price is just within this area, right? Have we break and close below it? No. Right here, it's a rejection, and which means price will likely turn around from this area. This is a low, old low. Like I say, I'm not going to consider this to be an inside bar, but it didn't really close below this one right there. So the low was rated. Well, can shift this one. Let's just use this. The low was rated and a rejection of this point of interest. So right here, this rejection, you can lower down for our whatever 6 hours and just look what is price doing. You can see this is a shift in market strategy. If I should use all of this one, the 4 hour, you can see high, low, it doesn't matter right here. And this is the last tick candle right there. That's price just disrespected. And you can see. So for me, G is it G or UJ, it is bullish. So what you can just wait for this week is just wait for Monday to trade. We're in the 4-hour. You can take out these lines right there. What is this? Inside bar. This is an inside bar, right? So we might just see a run of the low, or we might not even see a run of the low, because if actually this inside bar was just a retracement into where this point of interest, then we might not see a run of this low, might just see a straight distribution to the upside. But nowadays this why is my network so slow? So let's say if we manage to come down around this area, you can pay attention like this and take probably the entry from here, because this is an inside bar. Like I always say, it could be a run of this low back to this area and continue to the upside. You can watch us for something like this. This is just liquidity. Oh my God, why is my network so slow? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Why is my network just misbehaving right here? Okay. This is just liquidity, and of course, the highs and low of that candle is also liquidity, the inside bar. So we can see the low of this inside bar get traded before a buy up from this position. Why that position? You can see before we shift market structure or something, we have this area red, the low of Asia, then we traded high to shift market structure, whether from the 4-hour, however you want to call it. And if you change your line chart, you can see multiple shift the market structure right here. So just the body, those are what matters. The wicks, yeah, they also test story, but so you can see right here, this could be your point of interest if you want to, and just wait for the right section to get in. Right there. And like I say, GU, is it GU? I'm always saying GU. UJ can probably push all the way to this area, because we have two area of interest right there. From the week, from the monthly, we have the fair value gap and this previous other block that was disrespected and price never traded back to that area. So we can use that area as form of resistance to push price further down or something. But at least what we are interested in is for price to push up. So the rejection of that area. So because of this gap, that's why it probably traded back down, and again, right here, this is for the 6 hours after this high was broken, and this is probably the last down candle. So you can even also just shift your point of interest on top, but that low is where I got from that time frame that I was looking at. So you can just wait for price to pull back down and take your entry from there. I still prefer this downside anyway, because this area is within this low. So I still prefer this one. Are you guys seeing the same thing? A buy on UJ?
Yeah, I'm seeing buys as well.
I mean, I don't really trade UJ, but maybe this week, if you know, if price trigger the alert, yes, and can look at it. So yes, this is what we have here.
Sorry, Andrew, you said that GA is going down for the sell, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have.
You know one thing, right?
Mhm.
One thing I also noticed that this GBP pairs or something and GA they move opposite. Yeah, if GA is selling, then this GA probably buying, something like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think because the way I marked it up, I still have GA going up. I mean, I don't have it on me because I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
But I had GA going up to almost.
Wait, hold on. Maybe to this level, around somewhere here,
Let me see. Let me see.
around somewhere around these levels.
Oh, to the other wick, the other one on the top. Not down, down, down. Yeah, that's it. That there.
This one right here.
No, not that one. That one. That one. That the one that you just marked.
Right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I have GA going there before dropping.
Correct. Yeah. I was also looking at the area, right? So the thing is that we kind of there is something that that affects us traders, right? So when we are so concerned about one direction, so we get lost. That is a very like strong thing. It affects a lot of traders, right? Because we are just looking at, oh yeah, we need this price to come here. He's still buying, he's still buying. But you forgot that we cannot trade with emotion,
Yeah.
We just have to follow what the market is doing, basically. That is why if you identify your point of interest, of course, I saw this. I'm a GA trader. I trade GA like it's like basically my day trading pair, So I saw this area, I identified this area, and I think it was from even the 12 hour. So I saw like right here, this is a minor high, like liquidity, right?
Yeah.
So I saw everything. And it can still be possible, right? That's why you always have to be conservative as well. But at the same time, you see, this is like the 12 other block from the what is it called? From the daily. But one thing you should know, other block is not just the last candle, right? It could be 3 candle, it can be 2. It just depends on the time frame you are on.
Yeah.
So this is another thing because a lot. And again, who designed this algorithm or whoever, if somebody is moving this market, they are not stupid because they know we are so focused on like this last candle to be another block. That is why you see most of the time we don't even catch enough trades because we are so focused. Okay, yes, we want price to come to this area. We want price to come to this area. That is how it is. So you have to like also learn to adapt and just like come into the week and look at what price is doing and determine, okay, if we are going up actually, or we want to turn around to go down or something like this.
Yeah, I think it will go up Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday it will turn around.
It could be like that.
Yeah.
And it can also just go down a Monday, Tuesday and turn around Wednesday,
True.
So what about if you are out from the market before Wednesday?
No, I'm not getting in until I'm satisfied. I'm not in the trade until I'm satisfied.
So this is how it works, You are just here to collect your pips. Like Todd, the pip collect. So all you need is just collect your pips and go away from the market once you are okay with what you have. You understand?
Yeah.
So, like I say, it's you see like the last candle right here. I did notice that on your craft more, right? Why do I say that? Because a lot of people, I can say majority of people, we are basically almost looking at the same thing, you know? And of course, it works, but not 90% of the time or 70% of the time. You might be noticing, have you not marked out some area like you want price to come there and like price never even got there before doing what you were expecting?
Oh, definitely. GA did that last week.
So it's always like this, you know? You cannot always win, or maybe price cannot always come to your point of interest. That's why you just have to understand, like, okay, yeah, there is a lot of point of interest in this market, like where price can basically take their support or resistance from. And you see, price seeks liquidity, you know, rebalance inefficiency. That's what you have to sit down and just think about them sometimes, you know, because once the liquidity the market is seeking, like eventually, like it's enough at the point where price go to, why do you think price need to go further more? It might just turn around from there.
True.
So that's how I just wait for price to get to a point and see what price is doing, you know, looking at the candlesticks, you know, like the confirmation they are giving, they are very important as well.
Yeah.
So it's like that. You know, last week, even with this, price could have just kept on falling. But you see, on Friday, it was retracing a little bit. You know?
Yeah, GN was the one.
Maybe. So you have to be open to look at other ways around, you know, not like just stick to your like buys. He's going to buy, he's going to buy. Yeah, he could buy, but and he shouldn't even be like scared of like missing out the trade if he doesn't come.
Hey, I was gonna say, Andrew, I think you should be open to not taking the trade. You know, it's okay having a bias, and it's okay looking for the way the trade you think it's going to go, but it's okay not hitting the trigger if it does something different. I think that many people aren't going to ever get to the Andrew level of understanding price action. Just it won't happen because they're not interested. Some people are just going to learn one or two things and they're going to trade with it. There's nothing wrong with either scenario, but you have to be able to walk away from a trade setup. You know, it's okay if you're only trading displacement or if you're only trading support resistance. But if you don't get all of the confluences or the confirmations that you need to enter the trade, just don't enter. So I think that sometimes we put too much brain power into trying to see something on a chart. It's funny because the last couple of weeks, we ask about trades that don't give you a typical setup. So if you're looking for a specific setup and that the candles don't give it to you, then why are we discussing it? And, I mean, that's not a shot at Leandra or Dylan last week, because these are great questions and you can trade from many different time frames. Mm-hmm. But if you're trading a specific way from a specific time frame, then you have to keep your grade A setups are your grade A setups, and they don't change. It either gives it to you or it doesn't, and you have to be willing to say, "I don't have nothing," and keep it pushing.
All right. Because it's just the same setup and the same things you are looking at. You have to see it. Like you were saying, like some people just want to learn just the normal things, right? I always said that to like a lot of people I meet. That, yeah, people just learn something. Of course, it works. It does work, but not every time. And not like exactly. You will be seeing trades. like the way other people will be seeing trades, you know, that's just the different. The minor things, like the little things that you learn, they don't they does work, but you just have to be patient with them because you see people taking trades like 5 times in a week, 3 times in a week. I'm not advising anybody to be doing that, right? But yeah, it's because of what they have learned. That is why you can see them taking a lot of trades and like basically like that, and which I don't even advise anybody to even be doing, you know. Yeah, but it's up to his individual choice. So if you want to be trading every day, taking trades every day, yeah, you can do that, but I don't advise that. But of course, you have a way of trading. You will always see your A plus setup every time. All you need, identify your point of interest and wait for price to get there. If it gets there, it doesn't give you what you want to see, then what? Is that your trade? It's not your trade. You didn't see anything, then let it go.
I have actually been doing that. I've been just setting limits, and if it doesn't get there, I don't get in. So I have been doing that. And alerts.
That's how it works, bro. Like everybody, we all get here. It's just like we always say, how much effort are you putting in, you know? Because I pretty much know a lot of people that even even trying to learn new things is so difficult for them. They will be like, ah, man, I can't do this. Let me just go back to what I'm doing, you know? So why will somebody like that even complain like, yeah, I'm not seeing trade or I can, you know, you have to put in work, you have to learn. Most of the time, the things you learn is not even from someone, you know, your mentor or somebody can teach you, but you could be better than your mentor in some ways, you know, once you put in the work.
Anybody
All
got
right.
any questions or anything else?
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Ma.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
The way you explain charts is just so sexy. It's just so fire. Like you're like the way you just piece together market structure, ICT, smart money concepts, price action. It's fire, and I understand everything because that's what I see in the charts. It's fire. I'm just working on the patience part.
It's just